Hi friends, we have done up to illustration 23. In that all objective sums of 2 markers and 3 markers as well as few long sums of 5 markers we have understood. Now specific examples, that is known as objective in section C. From this chapter 2 marks objective sums will be asked. That is in illustration 24 they give you this type of in your textbook. If you refer your PDF, you refer 8 illustrations are one by one it is given based on objective sums. So many of them are out of this asked in the examination as an objective question in section C for 2 marks. So one by one according to the given data I will explain you the solution. You can very easily understood. Then it is of 2 marks. So first question we try to understand is answer the following question in section C. It will be asked. First question is like this: the price of wheat was 1600 rupees per quintal in the year 2014, that is the price of the base year, and it was rupees 1800 per quintal in the year 2015. Find the price index number of wheat for the year 2015 with the base year 2014 and interpret it. Now what they want to say with the word interpret means compared to the base year how many percentage increase in the prices of item wheat compared to the base year. When we learn the fixed base index number, we know the formula. Whenever the current year price P1 and base year's price P0 is given to you, and whenever you have to calculate the index number, our basic formula, price of the index number of wheat in this sum for the year 2015, I is equals to very simple formula, price of the variable of the current year divided by price of the variable of the base year into 100. Price of the variable of the current year is denoted as P1 and price of the base year is denoted as P0. So P1 upon P0 into 100. So in this sum 2015 price per quintal of wheat is taken as the price of the current year 1800 divided by price of the base year, that is 1600. 1800 divided by 1600 into 100, we get answer 112.5. So index number for the wheat in the year 2015 was come to 112.5. In the whole chapter we know that the base year index is always 100. So they mention in the question find out the index number for the price of the wheat for the year 2015. The 1 mark we get for that. And the second thing, you see the question, students what is written, बच्चों क्या दिया गया हुआ है, आपको समझने का क्या है कि इसका इंटरप्रिटेशन भी लिखो. मीन्स आपका जो बेस ईयर का इंडेक्स था वो 100 था, उसका इंडेक्स 2015 में बढ़ के कितना हो गया है 112.5. दैट मीन्स यू कैन से देयर शुड बी एन इंक्रीज ऑफ 12.5%. So thus we can say that, thus it can be said that there is a rise of 12.5% in the price of the wheat per quintal in the year 2015 as compared to the year 2014. So whenever there is a base year's price and when there is a current year price, and whenever you have to obtain the index number, very easily you can obtain the index number by the formula P1 upon P0 into 100. So this is the first and the most easiest sum for section C in board examination. Student, once again I want to explain you from this chapter. Weightage of this chapter is of 12 mark in that section A. In that 1 MCQ from this chapter, in section B 1 VSQ from this chapter, and in section C 1 question, that is question number 21. Question number 21 will become from this chapter known as index number. In section C question number 21 is asked from this chapter. Now illustration 24, in that sum number 2, now I will explain to you. Here little bit maths you have to apply, and in the question it is given like this. What is given, that one by one I will explain. the last pair's index number is 8 upon 9 times the Fisher's index number. Means they mention last pair's index number is 8 upon 9 times the Fisher's index number. So we can say IL is equals to 8 upon 9 into index number of Fisher. Index number of Fisher is denoted as IF. If the Fisher's index number is 180, so we know that index number of Fisher is known to you, and from that it is mentioned first equation we can prepare. Find the passes index number. So two index number almost given to you. Last pair index is nothing but 8 upon 9 times the Fisher's index number. When they give you the Fisher's index number, in the formula of IL we can write 8 upon 9 into index number of Fisher, and index number of Fisher we substitute 180, we can very easily obtain index number of last pair. And we know that Fisher's index is nothing but the geometric mean of last pair and passe. So out of the three things, two things are available very easily. We can find out the missing item number third. So that the same scenario we are applying here, same steps we followed here to find out the passes index number. From the given two index numbers we can very easily obtain the third index number. So once again in the question you go through that last pair's index number is 8 upon 9 times, 8 by 9 times the Fisher's index number. So it is written as this, you can see here. Therefore IL is equals to 8 upon 9 into Fisher's index number. Now they give you Fisher's index number, so very easily we substitute the value of Fisher's index number. It is given in the question, it is 180. So 8 upon 9 into 180, you know 29s are 180 and 28 are 160, we get last pair's index number. So now we have Fisher index 180 and last pair's index 160. So now we have to find out the passes index number by substituting it in the formula of Fisher's index. We know the formula of Fisher's index number. Fisher's index number is under root of IL into IP. Two things are available. First of all, we substitute the value of IF, that is 180. In under root we substitute the value of IL that we obtained earlier, like this 160, into IP. We know that if we have to find the index number of passe, first of all when we remove the under root, opposite side we have to make the square. So we remove this under root and make the opposite side, it is square. So index number of Fisher का हम क्या करेंगे, square. So 180 square is equals to 160 into IP. So now from this we can do 180 into 180 is equals to 160 into IP. That is the first step you keep in your mind. Now directly in the sum you can see on your screen that IP is equals to, now this IP we make it into the denominator in the from multiplication we transfer it into the division, and we get what IP is equals to 180 into 180, and that 160 is in multiplication with IP, this goes into the denominator, it will be 160. So your answer of IP will be nothing but 180 into 180 divided by 160. We use our calculator and we get index number of passe is 202.5. So in the question they give you the information of Fisher's index number, they give you the hint how you can obtain the last pair's index number. They give that last pair's index number is 8 upon 9, passes are 8 upon 9 the Fisher's index number. So substitute the value of Fisher's index number there, 180, we get last pair's index number, and then by applying the formula we can get the required answer. So in illustration 24, first two basic sums that we have solved. Now the third number sum, that is also sometimes asked in MCQ 1 marker or sometimes in 2 marks. A paper is so easy. Now here one note also I will give after explaining the question to you students. Keeping in mind the question what is given, you see they mention that the production of an item in the year 2015 has increased by 3 times the production in the base year. When increase and times both are given, then what may be the increase by times it is written, you add 1 in that. Here it is mentioned that production an item in the year 2000 increased by 3 times, so you take it 4. because base year index increase and times is nothing but 100 plus 100 into, that will be the formula for the current year's production of the year 2015. So find the index number of production for the year 2015. Consider the index number of base year in the solution as 100. That is our note in the beginning from the chapter. Production has increased by 3 times in the year 2015. So production index number of the year 2015 by the formula index number of base year plus means 100 plus 100 into 100 plus 100 into means it is increased by 3 times. So your increase will be production of base year is 100 into 3 times. So 100 into 3 it is 300 and base year index is 100. So 100 plus 300, your production index number for the year 2015 will be 100 plus 3 into 100, 300. Your answer will be 400. So practically we can say there will be a 300% increase in the prices or increase in the production. Now very simple sum we have understood, that is sum number 3. In illustration 24, 3 objective sums are already clear in your mind. Then after it is very easiest sum further it is given, that is illustration number 4 in 24, means in illustration 24 sum number 4. What is given? It is given in the ratio. How it is given? You see, formula is, remember students, if you know the formula, आप सबको स्टूडेंट्स फॉर्मूला अपने दिमाग में क्लियर है तो जो इन्फॉर्मेशन दी है वो इमीडिएटली आपको क्लियर हो जाती है. जनरली इन ऑब्जेक्टिव सम स्टूडेंट्स क्या होता है, फॉर्मूला हियर एंड देयर आपको सिर्फ यहाँ से ट्विस्ट एंड टर्न करना है, थोड़ा इधर से उधर ले जाना होता है एंड मिसिंग वैल्यूज आपको फाइंड करनी है. तो फॉर्मूला आपको दे देते हैं, फॉर्मूला आपके दिमाग में रहती है तो यू कैन वेरी इजीली सॉल्व दी आंसर. सो ये चैप्टर के लिए भी स्टूडेंट्स इन पार्ट 1 अपना स्टेप्स जो है 12 का, उसमें पार्ट 1 में 1 to 4 चैप्टर्स है, उसमें ज़्यादातर मैथमेटिकल नॉलेज की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है. आपको स्टूडेंट्स ज़्यादातर चीज़ें क्या पूछी जाएगी, बेस्ड सम्स ऑन दी फॉर्मूला. तो आपको 1 to 4 चैप्टर में 4 डजन मार्क्स लाने हैं, दैट इज़ 48 मार्क्स. सो उसमें थोड़ा ही थियरी करना है, बाकी सभी सम्स आने वाले हैं. तो वो सम्स के आपको हर एक चैप्टर के ऑलमोस्ट 10 मार्क के सम है. चैप्टर 1, 2, 3 एंड 4, उसमें ऑलमोस्ट 10 मार्क में 2 मार्क का एक सम आएगा, 3 मार्क का एक सम आएगा और 5 मार्क का जो सम आएगा वो सम बेसिकली बेस्ड ऑन दी फॉर्मूला ही होगा. तो जितने जल्दी से आप फॉर्मूला लर्न करोगे तो उतना जल्दी आप रिमेंबर करोगे, या एक एक फॉर्मूला 2, 3, 5 बार लिख के पक्का कर लोगे तो सम सॉल्व करने में स्टूडेंट्स आपको मेरे ख्याल से कोई प्रॉब्लम आएगा नहीं. मैं बोल रहा हूँ बच्चों, आप समझ रहे हो क्या बोल रहे हैं सर, कि फॉर्मूला की तो आपके मार्क्स पक्के ही है. थोड़ा मोटिवेशन लेके फॉर्मूला करना चाहिए. जैसे 11th में भी आपने फॉर्मूला याद रखे थे 3rd चैप्टर, 4th चैप्टर, 5th चैप्टर के लिए, वैसे ही यहाँ पे 1st चैप्टर से लेके 4th चैप्टर तक पार्ट 1 में सिर्फ फॉर्मूला ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. जितने ज़्यादा फॉर्मूला लर्न कर लोगे उतने इजीली आप सम सॉल्व कर पाओगे. तो हम 4th सम में जा रहे हैं 24th इलस्ट्रेशन के. वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन इज गिवन, इफ सिग्मा P1 Q0 is to sigma P0 Q0 is equals to 3:2 and sigma P1 Q1 is to sigma P0 Q1 is 5:3. Find last pair's index number, Pasch's index number and Fisher's index number. So here ratio is given. So first ratio will be sigma P1 Q0 upon sigma P0 Q0 is nothing but 3/2. So our formula of last pair is very simple, clear in your mind. Our formula of 1000 sigma P1 Q0 upon sigma P0 Q0 into 100. So in this sum, sigma P1 Q0 upon sigma P0 Q0, that ratio is 3/2. 3/2 multiplied by 100 we get 2 into 50, it will be 153, it will come to 150. So use your calculator, you get your first answer, that is last pair's index number, that is 150. Now Pasch's index number. Pasch's index number you can easily calculate by the ratio sigma P1 Q1 upon sigma P0 Q1. This formula you can say 1101. So 1101 matlab P1 Q1 upon sigma P0 Q1, sigma P1 Q1 divided by sigma P0 Q1 into 100. So our index number of Pasch very easily calculated in this sum. Sigma P1 Q1 upon sigma P0 Q1 ratio is given 5 upon 3 into 100 you have to do. So 5 upon 3 into 100, that is 100 into 500 divided by 3. We get the answer 166.67. So index number of last pair is with you, index number of Pasch with you. So you can very easily now calculate the Fisher's index number. So Fisher's index number is nothing but the geometric mean of last pair and Pasch. Formula of Fisher is under root of IL into IP. So we get the answer last pair's index number is 150 in under root into 166.67. We multiply 150 into 166.67. We get 25,000.5 and make the square root of it. We get the answer of Fisher's index is 158.12, or you can say 158.12. So our illustration 24, in that sum number 4 necessary things are given to you, and from that we have obtained all the 3 index numbers, that is last pair, Pasch and Fisher, that we can very easily obtain. So last pair, Pasch and Fisher's index number is very easily obtained. Now in illustration 24 we further move to sum number 5. This type of sum we have understood in the second portions of the long sum, so that will be converted here as an objective sum. Given data you read perfectly first of all, on that basis you can very easily solve the answer of the question. Now here what is given, students, you see what is mentioned. If the average monthly disposable income of middle class of families in the year 2014 is 14,400, so what we can say, base year's average monthly disposable income was rupees 14400 rupees, and if the cost of living index number for the next year, that is 2015, with the base year 2014 is 115, then estimate the average monthly disposable income of these families in the year 2015. What we can say here, students, if whenever base year index was 100, at that time your income will be 14,400. Then if your index number will be 115, then what will be the income? On that basis you can solve the sum. What you have to do, 14,400 into 115 divided by 100 you get direct answer, average monthly disposable income of families in the year 2015. Directly you get this answer, 16560. Now the same sum according to the method of the textbook we solve. Now you understand very easily what I mentioned here. Compared to the base year 2014, in the year 2015 index number will become 115. So practically what we can say, your index number or income should be required to be increased by 15%. So for that our calculation is like this. The cost of living index number of middle class of family in the year 2015 is 115 with the base year 2014, as the index number has increased by 15% as compared to the year 2014, that is base year. Thus there should be a 15% rise in the average disposable income of the middle class families. So average monthly disposable income of families will be index income of the base year plus income into 15% that you have to make. So for 2014 base year's average monthly disposable income was 14,400 plus 14,400 into 15%, that is 15 upon 100, we get increase of 2160. So your average disposable monthly income of families in the year 2015 should be 14,400 plus 2160, so we can say it will come to 16560. So our final answer is average monthly disposable income of this family in the year 2015 should be rupees 16560. यही सम स्टूडेंट एक ही स्टेप में आप कर सकते हो, मैं बोल रहा हूँ वो आप लिख सकते हो. वेरी सिंपल. व्हेन योर बेस ईयर इंडेक्स इज 100, योर एवरेज मंथली डिस्पोजेबल इनकम ऑफ द ईयर 2014 is 14,400. Your index number in the year 2015 is 115. Then what would be the average monthly disposable income of middle class families in the year 2015 will be? हमने एक इक्वेशन बनाया 100 पे 14,400, तो 115 पे कितना क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई वी डू 115 इंटू 14,400 डिवाइडेड बाय 100, you directly get the answer, that is 16560. Hence the average monthly disposable income of these families in the year 2015 should be 16560. and कोई आपको बोले कि एक्चुअल कितना इंक्रीज हुआ, तो you can say that there should be an increase of 16560 minus 14,400, so you can say there should be an increase of 2160, that is 15% increase in the income of the families compared to the base year. So this was our explanation for in sum number 5 in illustration 25. So another 3 sums are given in the illustration 24 that we can say as an objective sum. Sum number 6 in illustration 24. What is given you see in the question illustration 24 in that sum number 6. The sum number 5, we sometimes it is asked in 2 marks in section C. In board paper it should be a question number 21. Now another question, that is question number 6. Now that we will understood one by one what is given, that you see here. If the cost of living index number of the current year has increased to 180 from the base year index number 100, and if average income of the worker has increased from 6,000 to 9,000, is there an increase or decrease in the purchasing power of the workers? If it is yes, then how much? If it is deficit, then it is how much? So according to the index numbers, there should be a required increase in the salary. If the salary is increased, then it is no problem equal to the increase in the index number or difference of index number. But if that increase is not sufficient, we can say the purchasing power of the worker or employee should be reduced, because there should not be proportionate increase in the income of the workers as proportionate increase in the index number. So that I explained orally to you. Now one by one by explanation we go through the answer. What is mentioned student here? The index number has increased to 180 from 100 here, which means that there is an increase of 80%. 100 का क्या हो गया बेटा 180, so there is an increase of 80%. Hence the income should also increase by 80%. Now we check actual how much percentage increase is there. So average income is 6,000 of the base year, and there should required increase of 80% in the income of the previous year. So 6,000 income in that 80% increase, 6,000 into 80%, it should be required to be at 4,800. So your average income should be 6,000 plus 4,800. It required to be 10,800, but actually you see in the question, hence the average income of the worker should become 10,800 or should be rupees 10,000, but the average income of worker has increased to only from 6,000 to 9,000, so we can say only 50% increase is there. Actually index number we required 180, but here if we are applying our original formula P1 upon P0 into 100, so current year income is 9,000 and base year income is 6,000 into 100. Student, you find that there is an increase of only 50%, that is index number will come 150%. Here we required increase of 80%, but income is increased only by 50%, so obviously we can say there is a deficit of 30%. 6,000's 30% will be 1,800, and you can find that 1,800 difference here but the average income of worker has increased to only 9,000. So orally we can say 6,000, in that 50% increase we made 3,000, so it will come to only 9,000. So thus there is a decrease of 10,800 minus 9,1800 in the average income with reference to the index number. Hence it can be said that there is a decrease in their purchasing power. What we can say, there is a decrease in the purchasing power of the workers, and that decrease in the purchasing power is by rupees 1800. Practically in percentage, if I mention, that is, there is, instead of 180% or 80% increase, it is only 50%. So percentage wise 30% deficit, and base year income is 6,000. 6,000's 30% orally you can do, it is 1800. तो स्टूडेंट वर्कर की इनकम में 1800 रुपीज़ की डेफिसिट हुई है. तो डेफिनेटली मार्केट में ड्यू टू इन्फ्लेशन प्राइसेस ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट इंक्रीज़ हुए हैं, पर इनकम उतनी इंक्रीज़ नहीं हुई है. मैंने पहले भी लेक्चर में आपको बताया था कि जैसे ही ड्यू टू इन्फ्लेशन प्रोडक्ट के या कोई भी प्रोडक्ट या आइटम आप यूज़ करें उसके दाम बढ़ रहे हैं, एक्सपेंसेस बढ़ रहे हैं, पर इनकम इतनी इंक्रीज नहीं होगी प्रोपोर्शनेटली, तो आपका कंजम्पशन और परचेजिंग पावर आपको कम करना ही पड़ेगा. आपको वही स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग मेंटेन करना हो तो जितना इन्फ्लेशन का रेट है उतना आपका इनकम में भी इंक्रीज होना चाहिए. देन यू कैन मेंटेन द सेम स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग. सो दिस इज द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट सम इन क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 एंड इन क्वेश्चन नंबर 6. सो मैनी टाइम्स दिस सम विल बी आस्क्ड, सो इम्पोर्टेंटली टू बी अंडरस्टूड. अभी भी बच्चों हमको इलस्ट्रेशन 24 में 6 सम सॉल्व किए, अभी भी 2 ऑब्जेक्टिव सम सॉल्व करने हैं, दैट इज 7 एंड 8. वन बाय वन मैं आपको समझाता हूँ. 7th में क्या है और 8th में क्या है. मैंने आपको पहले चैप्टर में भी एक बार एक आपको फॉर्मूला बोली थी, हाउ टू कैलकुलेट द रेट ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन. यहाँ एक आज आपको मैं नई एक फॉर्मूला फिर से रिवाइज करवाता हूँ, उसको बोलते हैं फॉर्मूला ऑफ रेट ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन. ये फॉर्मूला दिमाग में रखने की, एक मार्क के VSQ में भी, ये मैंने स्टार्टिंग में भी बताया था चैप्टर का बाइफर्केशन, वहाँ भी बोला था कि ये चैप्टर में से क्वेश्चन नंबर 11 एक वेरी शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर आने वाला है, मीन्स आंसर इन 1 और 2 सेंटेंसेस. इसमें हर बार ऐसा नहीं है कि थियरी ही पूछेंगे आपको, कभी कभार आपको ऐसा पूछेंगे राइट द फॉर्मूला ऑफ रेट ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन, तो आपको वो 1 मार्क में सीधा फॉर्मूला लिख लेना है. कभी कभार पूछेंगे राइट द फॉर्मूला ऑफ कन्वर्जन ऑफ फिक्स बेस इंडेक्स नंबर इनटू चेन बेस इंडेक्स नंबर और चेन बेस इंडेक्स नंबर इनटू फिक्स बेस इंडेक्स नंबर. ऐसा कभी कभार पूछ सकते, तो दिमाग में सब बातें ये रखने की कि क्या क्या 1 मार्क में पूछ सकते हैं. सम तो मैं 2 मार्क के लिए ये करवा रहा हूँ, पर साथ में यही क्वेश्चन सीधा 1 मार्क में भी पूछ सकते हैं. ओनली राइट द फॉर्मूला. क्लियर इन योर माइंड व्हाट आई से. सो क्वेश्चन नंबर 7 अब हम समझ रहे हैं. इन इलस्ट्रेशन 24 क्या लिखा है बच्चों, द होलसेल प्राइस इंडेक्स नंबर of the year 2015 and 2016 are found to be 150.2 and 165.7 respectively. स्टूडेंट आपको दोनों ईयर के होलसेल प्राइस इंडेक्स नंबर दे दिए, करंट ईयर के और प्रीवियस ईयर के. नाउ मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन इज आस्क्ड, find the rate of inflation using index number of both the years. So here index number of 2015 is 150.2 and index number of the year 2016 is 165.7. We will use the formula to calculate the rate of inflation. Rate of inflation formula is very simple. पहले शॉर्ट में समझ लो, फिर बड़ा वाला सिखाता हूँ. सिंपल याद रखने का, इंडेक्स नंबर ऑफ करंट ईयर माइनस इंडेक्स नंबर ऑफ प्रीवियस ईयर डिवाइडेड बाय बेस हमेशा प्रीवियस ईयर ही लेने का. हमने हर एक सम में आगे भी फॉर्मूला में देखा है, डिनोमिनेटर में तो क्या आता है P0। सो वैसे यहाँ पे क्या करना है, इंडेक्स नंबर ऑफ प्रीवियस ईयर। सो करंट ईयर माइनस प्रीवियस ईयर डिवाइड बाय प्रीवियस ईयर इंटू 100, CY माइनस PY अपॉन PY इंटू 100, दैट इज द फॉर्मूला फॉर, इन शॉर्ट फॉर्मूला ऑफ रेट ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन। अब यही फॉर्मूला में वर्ड टू वर्ड बोलते हैं, डेटा में जो दिया है वो होलसेल प्राइस इंडेक्स नंबर ऑफ करंट ईयर माइनस होलसेल प्राइस इंडेक्स नंबर ऑफ प्रीवियस ईयर। पर स्टूडेंट आपके दिमाग में क्या बात आनी चाहिए, करंट ईयर के इंडेक्स नंबर में से प्रीवियस ईयर का इंडेक्स नंबर माइनस करना है। आगे भले होलसेल इंडेक्स दिया है या तो इंपोर्ट इंडेक्स दिया है या एक्सपोर्ट इंडेक्स दिया है, वो वही रहेगा, जो डेटा में दिया है वो लिख देने का, डिवाइडेड बाय होलसेल प्राइस इंडेक्स नंबर ऑफ प्रीवियस ईयर, यू टू मल्टीप्लाई विथ 100। सो फिर से शॉर्ट में बोल रहा हूँ आपके लिए, करंट ईयर इंडेक्स माइनस प्रीवियस ईयर इंडेक्स डिवाइडेड बाय प्रीवियस ईयर इंडेक्स इंटू 100, CY माइनस PY अपॉन PY इंटू 100। इंडेक्स नंबर सब में कॉमन है, इंडेक्स नंबर ऑफ करंट ईयर माइनस इंडेक्स नंबर ऑफ प्रीवियस ईयर, जो डिफरेंस है डिवाइड बाय प्रीवियस ईयर इंटू 100, वो आपको जो परसेंटेज मिलेंगे उसको बोलेंगे रेट ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन। सो रेट ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन विल बी इन दिस सम विल बी होलसेल प्राइस इंडेक्स ऑफ करंट ईयर, यू कैन सी इट इज गिवन 165.7, previous year it is 150.2, तो 165.7 माइनस 150.2 अपॉन 150.2 इंटू 100 करने से डिफरेंस हमको मिलता है न्यूमरेटर में 15.5। सो 15.5 डिवाइडेड बाय बेस ईयर इंडेक्स, और वी कैन से प्रीवियस ईयर इंडेक्स। इन दिस सम प्रीवियस ईयर इज 2015। सो 2015 का आपको इंडेक्स नंबर बच्चों दिया है 150.2। 15.5 डिवाइड बाय 150.2 इंटू 100 करेंगे तो पहले डिवीज़न किया तो और मल्टीप्लाई किया तो हमको आंसर मिल रहा है बेटा 10.3196। so we can write in 2 decimal points approximately 10.32। so thus the rate of inflation will be 10.32%. so our rate of inflation using index number of both the years will come to 10.32%। यही टाइप के सम आप सॉल्व करना चाहो तो मैं आपको साथ में बता देता हूँ, आपकी टेक्स्ट बुक में सेक्शन सी आप जब रिफ़र करोगे तो आपकी टेक्स्ट बुक में सेक्शन सी में सम नंबर 9 से लेके सम नंबर 14, ये सभी आज जो मैंने अभी आपको एक्सप्लेन किए वैसे ही टाइप के सम है आपकी टेक्स्ट बुक में सेक्शन सी में, और ज़्यादातर 2 मार्क में सेक्शन सी में ऐसे ही सम स्कूल की प्रीलिम्स में, फर्स्ट टेस्ट में और बोर्ड में आने वाला है। अब मैं आपको इलस्ट्रेशन 24 का आखिरी ऑब्जेक्टिव सम सिखा रहा हूँ, दैट इज सम नंबर 8 in illustration 24. now here what is given that I one by one I will explain, and accordingly that which formula you can apply that I will explain. You see what is given in the question beta. What is given here, if the increase in the price relative of 3 items are इंक्रीज इन प्राइस रिलेटिव इन परसेंटेज कंपेयर टू द बेस ईयर, आपको दिया हुआ है 250% फॉर द फर्स्ट आइटम, 265% फॉर द सेकंड आइटम एंड 3% इंक्रीज फॉर द थर्ड आइटम। इफ द रेशियो ऑफ द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ दिस आइटम्स आर 8:7:5, so ratio of importance means we considered as weight. Whenever price relative percentage increase is given, from that we can obtain the I, and importance or weight is given is W. Whenever I and W is given, your formula to find the general index price index number will be very simple, sigma IW upon sigma W we can obtain, and along with that we can interpret the answer also कि बेस ईयर से करंट ईयर में कितने परसेंटेज का इंक्रीज हुआ। सो सबसे पहले ये जो भी परसेंटेज प्राइस रिलेटिव इंक्रीज आपको दिए होते हैं दैट इज़ ऑलवेज कम इन कंपैरिजन ऑफ द बेस ईयर, मतलब बेस ईयर का इंडेक्स। अब आप सब लोगों को स्टूडेंट पता है ना पूरा चैप्टर में कि बेस ईयर का इंडेक्स ऑलवेज क्या होता है बेटा 100 होता है। तो यहाँ लिखा हुआ है इन माय एक्सप्लेनेशन the percentage increase in the index number by price relative I and the relative importance W are given here. We shall calculate the index number. Here they mention if the increase in the price relative of 3 items, मतलब ये कोई आइटम के नाम नहीं दिए हैं तो हम उनको नाम दे देते हैं एज ए बी एन सी या पी क्यू एन आर। हाँ, ऐसे कोई भी आप एक्स वाई जेड ऐसे कोई भी 3 आइटम आप ले सकते हो, पर ज़्यादातर हमने चैप्टर में देखा कि ए बी सी आता है, 4 आइटम होते तो हम लिखते हैं स्टूडेंट्स क्या ए बी सी एन डी। तो यहाँ आइटम क्या दिया है बेटा ए बी एन सी, 3 आइटम, ऐसा हमने नेम एज्यूम कर लिया है। आइटम के नाम है ए बी एन सी। इंडेक्स नंबर आई हमको फाइंड करना है कि बेस ईयर का इंडेक्स हमने मान लिया 100 और उसमें कितने परसेंटेज इंक्रीज आइटम ए में हुआ 250। सो अवर इंडेक्स नंबर विल बी 100 प्लस 250 दैट इज 350। फॉर आइटम बी 100 में 265% इंक्रीज इट विल कम टू 365 एंड इन सी इट इज 100 प्लस 300 इट विल कम टू 400। सो वी गेट इंडेक्स नंबर ऑफ आइटम ए बी एन सी दैट इज 350, 365 and 400, that is I we get. W is 8:7:5, weight is 8:7:5 and the total weight will be 20. So IW sigma IW is nothing but I we have to multiply with W. So what you have to do, I into W, 350 into 8 we get 2800, 365 into 7 we get 2555, we get 400 into 5 that is 2000. So your total sigma IW will be 7355. So general index number by the formula sigma IW upon sigma W, 7355 divided by 20, you get the answer 367.75. So our general index number will be 367.75. Thus there is an increase of 267.75% in prices in the current year as compared to the base year. So after this explanation, what we can say, students, in illustration 24 what may be the 8 important objective types of sums are there, that is already explained to you. Now we move further in this chapter. So many times that is according to our scheme of this chapter or importance or weightage of this chapter, one VSQ will be asked from this chapter, and one by one according to our section B of the textbook, one by one what may be the 1 marker questions are given chronologically one by one in all in your textbook. You see that is 18 VSQs are given, that is answer in 1 or 2 sentences each. One by one I will try to explain that to you. In section B, question number 1, what is given in the section B? Answer the following questions in 1 or 2 sentences each. First question is very simple, that we know price relative. What is a meaning of price relative? Price relative is nothing but price of the current year divided by price of the base year, that is P1 upon P0. But theoretically what will be the explained as a price relative? So answer is this: a ratio of price of the commodity in the current year with the price of the base year means the price relative. So practically we can say P1, that is price of the current year divided by price of base year P0. Ratio of the price of current year and base year is known as a price relative. So 1 marker question is price relative. Second question is which method is more suitable to compare the changes in the variable at the 2 different time periods. Which method is more suitable to compare the changes in a variable at 2 different time periods? A method of ratio is always more suitable to compare the changes in a variable at two different time periods, and generally these two different time period is nothing but the current year and the base year. So method of ratio is more suitable. In the starting, when I start the chapter, I give you the two methods of comparison, and out of that, method of ratio is more suitable rather than the method of difference. Now very simple question number 3. You see what is written here. If the quantity index number of an item or for a certain year is 130, interpret it. The quantity index number of an item for a certain year is 130, means as compared to the base year there is a 30% increase in the quantity of an item. Whenever quantity index number or price index number is given to you compared to the base year, we take it base year index as 100. From 130, 100 is deducted. Practically whatever the difference we get, that we can say that much percentage increase in the quantity of an item. So 3 questions out of the 18 questions we have understood. Now the most important definition, so many times it is asked in the board examination for VSQ for this chapter. VSQ of this chapter in board will be question number 11. First VSQ is always from this chapter, and so many times this question is asked, what is a base year? What is a base year? Means whenever it is written what is a base year, means you have to explain what is the meaning of the base year. So meaning of base year is this: when the value of a variable for the current period is compared with the value of the variable with a fixed period, then this fixed period is called the base year. If 1990's price are compared with the year 1990, 1994 years price is compared to the year 1993 prices are compared with 1990, 92's price are compared with 1990, 91 years price are compared with 1990. So all the things are, all year prices are compared with the price of the year 1990. So 1990 years price is known as the base year's price. So when the value of a variable for the current period is compared to the value of the variable with a fixed base period, then this fixed base period is called a base year. The 4th question is over. Now we student move for the question number 5th. What is the simple question here? It is nothing but the formula. Write the formula for the conversion of chain base index number into fixed base. Means in the question they already give you the chain base index number. So whatever the chain base index number of the current year, you have to multiply the previous year's fixed base index number divided by 100. This is the only one formula in index number. We divide it by 100. हमने पहले स्टार्टिंग में जो फॉर्मूला देखी थी, हर एक फॉर्मूला में मल्टीप्लाई बाय 100 होता था. तो ये की फॉर्मूला ऐसी है, फर्स्ट 1.1 1.2 रिगार्डिंग, जिसमें हमको डिवाइड बाय 100 करना है, जो मैंने ओरली आपको बोला. अब हम 1 बाय 1 रीड करके समझ लेते हैं कि 1 मार्क का क्वेश्चन है. व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला? राइट द फॉर्मूला ऑफ कन्वर्जन ऑफ chain base index number into fixed base index number. So very simple question is this. What is mentioned here, student? Answer is this. The formula for the conversion of chain base index into fixed base index number is as follows. जो आंसर मिलेगा वो अब हमको fixed base index number मिलेगा. So fixed base index number will be, formula is like this: current year's chain base index number into previous year's fixed base index number divided by 100. So हमने अभी तक सेक्शन बी के 5 क्वेश्चन किए. अब मैं आपको आगे ले जाता हूँ. व्हाट इज़ द डेफिनेशन ऑफ इंडेक्स नंबर? इन अ प्रीवियसली at the time of beginning of the chapter it is already given to you. Define the index number. So the percentage change in the value of a variable associated with any item for the current period compared fluctuates a value in the fixed period or base period is called an index number. So per index number is nothing but useful for comparison of the current year period, current year's quantity or current year price with the base year's price or quantity, and resultant figure we get is known as index number. Now the another most important question for you student, define the cost of living index number. So meaning of cost of living index number is the number showing the percentage of relative change in the cost of living of the people of a certain section of the society in the current year as compared to the base year is called the cost of living index number. And for each and every sections of the society we have to find out the what will be their cost of living index. So once again meaning I will explain to you. The number showing the cost of living index number is one type of a number. So the number showing the percentage of relative changes in cost of living of the people of a certain section of the society in the current year as compared to the base year is called the cost of living index number. So then after the most important definition is question number 8, what is weight? So all these three definitions, so many times out of these three anyone will be asked in board in question number 11 in section B. Question number 1, what is the simple meaning of what is weight? So the number associated with items in the proportion to their importance is called the weight. In the middle of the chapter when we are using the different method of weights, that is implicit weight and explicit weight, that is direct and indirect method, at that time I have explained that whenever so many items we are using for calculation of index number, each and every item is not given the equal importance. For each and every family, their expenditure on food, their expenditure on clothing, their expenditure on vegetable, their expenditure on edible oils, their expenditure on miscellaneous, their expenditure on house rent expense, these are all different from, or they are having different importance. So the number associated with the item in the proportion to their importance is called the weight. Now the most important definition number 9, what is implicit weight? Meaning of implicit weight also I have explained to you when I explained the various methods of weight. So the weight which is determined as per the number of varieties of different items selected in the construction of index number is called implicit weight. So the weight which is determined as per the number of varieties of different items selected in the construction of index number is called the implicit weight. That was our question number 9. Now question number 10, name the important basic test of index number. When a students I have explained you the what are the important characteristics, or we can say why Fisher's index number is called an ideal index number. At that time I have given the two important names of the test. One is known as time reversal test and another is known as factor reversal test. So the name of important basic test of index numbers are, the important basic test of index numbers are time reversal test and factor reversal test. Time reversal test and factor reversal test are the two important basic tests for the index number. Now the most important question is there are two methods of calculation or taking the base. One is known as fixed base method and another is known as the chain base method. So here it is mentioned that what is a chain base index number. आपको एक्सप्लेन करना है ये चेन बेस इंडेक्स नंबर होता क्या है. So an index number obtained by comparing the current period with the recent past period, or we can say the preceding past period, is called a chain based index number. It's a formula for calculation of chain based index number is very simple. Value of variable in the current period, you have a value of the variable of the preceding period into 100. Once again we can say this formula is P1 upon P0 into 100, but here P0 P1 is obviously always called for the variate value or variable of the current period, but P0 here is nothing but the value of the variable of the preceding period, not the base year. So this was the question number 11. Now we move for the question number 12. The price index number of oil is rupees 500. State whether this statement is true or false, and if false, correct and rewrite it. The price index number of oil is rupees 500. This statement is false. Correct statement, the price index number of oil is 500. Why we can say like this? In the characteristics of index number, it is known as it is a relative measure, and all relative measures are always independent of units of measurement. That's why we can say the price index number of oil is only 500. No unit, rupees, liter, meter you have to write. So now we move further into the question number 13, that in today's lecture one sum when we solve in illustration 24 question number 7. At that time this formula I have given in short. Once again the same question is there, and accordingly that question I will explain this. What is mentioned, students? Which index number is used to find the rate of inflation, and write the formula to find the rate of inflation. The wholesale price index number is used to find the rate of inflation, and its a formula is very simple. Wholesale price index number of current year minus wholesale price index number of the preceding year divided by wholesale price index number of preceding year in 200. So you can, in short, you can say this formula: index number of current year minus index number of preceding year divided by index number of preceding year in 200. Or instead of preceding year you can use the word previous year. So current year minus previous year divided by previous year in 200 will give you the answer. So this was our question number 13. Now we further move to question number 14. Which index number is used in India to find the rate of dearness allowance? This is the most important questions. These questions sometimes ask in MCQ also. The cost of living index number is used in India to find the rate of dearness allowance. State the main point of difference between fixed base method and chain base method. The main difference between fixed base method and chain base method is that in fixed base method the base year remains constant throughout the period of comparison, while in the chain base method at any given time the preceding year is taken as the base year. So according to its name, in fixed base method base year values remain same in each and every calculation, and in chain base always preceding year's price. Means whatever may be the year, for that you have to find out the index number. Preceding year price is taken as the base year. That is the difference between the chain base or fixed base method and chain base method. Now question number 16. What is mentioned there? In which method does the base year change each year? In which method does the base year change every year? So according to our explanation of question number 15, you can very easily, students, give the answer. In according to name fixed base method, every year base year is remain fixed, but here it is question, in which method does the base year change each year? So in chain base method, the base year changes each year. That is the important explanation for question number 16. So in section B, according to your textbook, 18 questions are given. Out of that we have already learned 16 very short question answer. Now two questions are left, student, to be understood. That is in section B. Once again for your knowledge I will explain you that in board examination from chapter number 1, 12 marks questions are asked. First question, that is question number 1, multiple choice question of 1 mark. Then in section B, one objective question that is known as answering 1 or 2 sentences each VSQ is asked. Then in section C, 1 2-mark question will be asked, or 2-mark theory question may be asked. Then in section D, another one question of 3 marks will be asked, and in section F one long sum of 5 marks will be asked. Now we go further into the section B, question number 17. What is written there? Which is the appropriate average for the construction of index number? So many times I have explained that to you. The weighted average is the appropriate average for the weighted average is the appropriate average for the construction of index number. That is the most important question that as a student you have to keep in mind whenever you have to write down the answers. Keep it in mind. Each and every these questions you go through it once again, students. And now the most important last question, question number 18 in section B from your textbook. How should be the base year in the calculation of index number? Means what may be the base year you select, which type of quality that year should possess, then that year should be taken as the base year. That I explained when we solved the first sum, which quality or which characteristics you have to keep in mind while you are selecting any year as a base year. So how should be the base year in the calculation of index number? So base year in the calculation of index number should be standard or normal, free from natural calamities and abnormal man-made events. If your year should be such, then that type of the year you have taken as the base year. Two important points you have to keep once again in mind. The base year should be or normal year, or you can say standard or normal, free from natural calamities. Students, you know कौन से type की natural calamities होती है? Fire, floods, clear, earthquake. This type of natural calamities are not occurred. That type of year we have taken as a base year. And another important thing, abnormal man-made events should not be occur in years. That years we take it as a base year. So our explanation, how should be the base year in the calculation of index number. Once again I will explain you the answer. The base year in the calculation of index number should be standard or normal, free from natural calamities and abnormal man-made events. That type of year are taken as, what you can say, are taken as the base year. So this you have to keep in mind. So in our today's lecture we have understood most important objective type of questions of illustration 24, 8 sums we have understood, and then after we have understood the 16 questions, that are 18 questions in section B of the textbook that we have keep in mind. So in this manner we can conclude the section B and illustration 24. Thank you, students.